this next story pertains to our question of the day as well. So if you were, out of the loop, not quite sure what that question relates to, this is where the detail and understanding will come from. Now, National Treasury is reportedly demanding that Eskom write off some 70 billion rand in outstanding municipal debt, and this as part of government taking over a part of the utilities debt. Now, the weekly Rapport newspaper has reported that municipalities will have to commit themselves to cutting off non-paying electricity users if they wish to qualify for these write-offs. Now, as part of this, they must also maintain an 80% electricity revenue collection rate, table reasonable budgets, and regularly pay their Eskom bills. But for more on this, we're joined now virtually by Rapport journalist Antoinette Slabbert and Afriforum head of local government Morné Moster. Antoinette and also Morné, thanks so much for speaking to us. Welcome to both of you. Let me start with you, Antoinette. If you could just confirm for us that you actually have had sight and you've seen that official letter that's being circulated to the municipalities explaining how the debt write-off will happen.
Good morning. Yes, indeed. National Treasury from around December or even a little bit earlier every year sends circulars to municipalities guiding them how to compile their budgets, which is a process that's ongoing at the moment. And in one of those circulars on the 31st of March, National Treasury explained this scheme of how it will extend the debt relief program that it announced for Eskom also to municipalities. And the whole idea is to change behavior in those municipalities and even at consumer level to get the municipalities once again on a financially sustainable footing.
So just with regard to those conditions, and I know I did try to outline a few of them in the introduction, but if you could just walk us through those, what it says there, Antoinette?
I think the important thing is that they will have to show for an extended period that they've changed behavior. So the municipalities can apply before May every year to be part of this project. And then they will immediately, if they are accepted, they will immediately begin to enjoy the benefits. They won't be obliged to pay the arrear debt anymore, neither the penalties nor the interest. They will only have to keep on paying their current Eskom account on time. And that and some of the other conditions that you have named, they must be strict in collecting their debt. They must cut off supply to consumers who don't pay. And once they've done that for 12 consecutive months, Eskom will, in consultation with National Treasury, write off a third of their debt. And then if they do it for another 12 months, another third. And in this way, over a 3-year period, they will be rid of all their arrear debt.
So, Morné, as Afriforum, you on record stating that you think that this is insane. So what exactly about this doesn't make sense to you?
So if you look at the specific regulations, this shouldn't be news to any municipal manager or any municipal council or even the province who has a responsibility of an oversight function over the municipalities. This shouldn't be news to any of them. So if this shouldn't be news, this should have been implemented from the start. And what we have seen is, if you look at any metric with regards to municipalities, the Auditor General's report, the Blue and Green Drop report, if you look at any metric, the debt that is accumulating to Eskom from municipalities, none of them are functioning well. And the Constitution is really explicit that when they are defaulting in such a way, the province should intervene in terms of 139 intervention. Now, we all know that this hasn't been done in every municipality, and where it has been done, it hasn't done so effectively. So we are sitting in this debt spiral because of the malperformance of not only municipalities, but also the province that has a very large oversight function and has a mandate to intervene within municipalities when they are defaulting. So this this project of National Treasury is one that is maybe good-willed, but given the performance of municipalities across the whole scale of the past few years, it really needs municipalities really needs a Damascus moment. A 180 turn on the way that they are managing at this stage to even come close to meeting these prerequisites that is set by National Treasury. And in last instance, I just want to add that most of the municipalities that can maybe make use of these regulations or this project that National Treasury is aiming for is the municipalities that actually don't need this types of assistance.
So, and that, of course, is one of the concerns that has been sharply raised. But Morné, what do you believe Treasury should have done instead of putting the suggestions that they have forward?
So, as I said, I think intervention is the one route that should be able to take. There's a division within National Treasury that actually creates like business rescue plans for municipalities, and then they have the responsibility to ensure that these financial recovery plans are implemented. And if they are not implemented, and even if the provincial government is struggling to ensure compliance, then it's the national department's responsibilities, as well as the president that needs to actually intervene in terms of the constitution. But I do think there is service-specific regulations that can also be used. If you look specifically at electricity, then NASA can actually go and retract the license conditions of municipalities when they are default when they're malperforming, they can retract these this license from the municipality, and that can maybe have an adverse effect on the municipality, as there's been a large overhaul where the electricity tariff is used to fund other service budgets, which is actually incorrect. But if you take that away, then maybe if a new person comes in and manages that electricity license well, then not only will Eskom actually be able to receive funding from that specific license holder, but there will also not be the misuse where tariffs are used to actually cross-fund services by using the electricity. So there is a various range of other remedies that can be used even before this intervention must be implemented. But because these decisions are not taken to actually tackle these issues, we are sitting in the scenario where we must use these types of drastic measures. But I think the ruling party and most of the municipal councils in South Africa must understand that the intervention that is required from them to be able to take part in this project is going to be major.
And, that, I guess, is the crux of the matter, because you have municipalities that owe Eskom large amounts of money. Maluti or Pofung, for example, over 7 billion. Mfuleni owing, I think they in the region of 5 billion. So it's a lot of money being owed to Eskom by municipalities that seem to be struggling all the same. So with regard to one of the conditions, Antoinette, that states that the non-paying customers need to be cut off. Can you just talk to us about that one in a little more detail? Because I think that one, more than any other, may set the cat among the pigeons for the consumers.
Yes, I think that's a very interesting one, and especially because National Treasury does emphasize that there's a public perception that municipalities are not allowed to cut off water supply. And they say that is wrong. They are allowed to do that except for indigent customers, where they are only allowed to limit it to the amount of water provided as a free basic service. So yes, this may be a contentious one. We know that we are approaching an election next year. And for municipalities to do strict credit control before an election has always been very difficult. There's often political interference to stop those cut-offs in areas where votes are needed, and that may be a very difficult one for a municipal manager to sustain in the run-up to the elections.
And one can imagine the sort of unrest, Morné, as you come in, that this could potentially create in these municipalities.
Yes, but before I answer, I just want to add to what Antoinette just said. If you look at the municipal performance, the question is all with regards to collecting of fund, rates. The question is the municipality debt collection policy and debt collection bylaw actually implemented already, as the bylaw is actually the mechanism that that ensures that they can collect these rates. And what we have seen in a lot of municipalities is that these documentation is not in place that actually makes it illegal for them to collect certain funds. But yes, given that the next year is an election year, and given how the municipal councils and the national government is interconnected with one another, it is surely can have a large impact on the way that communities are going to request for certain services, but also the unrest that may follow with it.
Antoinette, with regard to what we've seen, Eskom attaching some of these municipalities' accounts, what would this potentially mean for the debts that are currently owing to Eskom by especially the municipalities that owe a lot of money?
Yes, that is another condition. If a municipality enters into this scheme, Eskom immediately stops all debt collection and also litigation against that municipality. But remember, I said they must sustain it for 12 months. If they default and that 12-month period is interrupted or it stops running, then those measures immediately revive and the litigation can go on. Then the municipality can again apply to re-enter the program, and their 12 months will start from scratch. But if this works, it can really relieve a lot of problems. For example, some municipalities dispute the amounts that Eskom says they owe, and it becomes a very tedious process to untangle years and years of arrears, penalties, interest. It just becomes almost an impossible job to verify this debt. And if this happens, all of those problems go away, but it is very idealistic. The plan really depends on behavior change from a consumer level to municipalities, even to institutions like NERSA, the energy regulator, who has not acted against municipalities that are non-compliant with their license conditions by not paying Eskom, for example. NERSA has been doing nothing, and various civil society groups have even gone to court to try and force NERSA to do its job. Now National Treasury relies on that. It relies on the provincial government being effective and efficient in intervening and in doing oversight. So it is a tall order, but maybe it's the only way that can resolve these problems.
And we only have about a minute left. And Morné, from your side, what are you going to be doing? Are you just going to watch? At this point, have you already contemplated what you may do in certain eventualities as Afriforum?
Yes, I think we will be monitoring the application process to see which municipalities are applying. We have 166 branches across South Africa, so we will be making, informing them on this debt relief program and how it functions. But secondly, Afriforum will definitely in the future release a report on which municipalities would actually be able to make use of this program and what percentage of municipalities would do that. And I think if you look at the past, there was the percentage given in Parliament that only 7% of municipalities are functioning well, and I think that is about 6 or 7 years back. So I think as Afriforum, we will not only play our watchdog role, but I think we will also make use of this to compile a report to say which of the municipalities will actually be able to make use of these debt relief. So look out for that.
Well, thanks to both of you for engaging us this morning. Antoinette Slabbert, Rapport journalist, and Afriforum head of local government, Morné Moster, talking to us about National Treasury demanding that Eskom write off about 70 billion rand in outstanding municipal debt, but it does come, of course, with some stringent conditions. Your view on this in our question of the day as you respond to us at Morning Live SABC.